All right. What's up, everybody? Good evening. My name is Rafi.
And I'm Jason Itchi.
And this is ART, also known as
Art, Rhythm, and Technic.
Yeah, welcome back to our monthly show here on Twitch, on the Singapore Community Radio channel. That's SGCR Singapore, is it? SGCR. Twitch.tv SG Community Radio.
I think too much of good food during your Christmas, right?
I just had full dinner, so like the brain waves is a bit slow right now.
Yeah. I believe. Hope everyone stay safe during the Christmas festive season. And then of course a couple of hours will be countdown for the New Year.
New Year's Eve is coming up quite soon.
Yeah,
And just tomorrow.
And we
will
will
be New
see
Year's
you.
Eve.
Yeah, we'll see you 2 days time. Will be a brand new year.
Yeah, so the next time we see you will be 2021.
Yeah, that's very fast, right? This year.
It's super fast. Yeah, so last month we did our Christmas special
That's right.
and we had a giveaway.
And we managed to give away.
We did get a winner
We had a winner.
for the t-shirt.
Yes.
Right.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. The winner of the t-shirt is Mr. Julian Cheng.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the ART t-shirt. The t-shirt will be on your way soon, dude. I'll give you a text and then we'll meet up. And actually, it's been with me for a while, but I haven't had a chance to meet up with you. So I'll pass you the t-shirt soon.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll receive your gift soon, so that you can wear it during your Chinese New Year visiting,
Chinese New Year visiting already.
which is in February.
Wow, so
Mid
fast,
of
huh?
February. Yes.
Wow, that's super fast. Yeah, today we have a very special show, right?
Indeed. Today, we will show you a couple of segments. Okay, again, our segments as usual. Our Arts ART show will always be the last Wednesday of the month.
That's right.
And then right now we are back on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yay!
midweek.
Hopefully we'll maintain back on Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
That's right.
And then we'll be bringing you all the latest trend, all the design, toy designers, all the art stuff, latest music, or whatever tunes that is in our crates.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
of course, tech stuff. Your favorite.
So as usual, we cover our art related content, then of course this music related and our tech and gear.
Yeah, that's right.
So for today's episode is something a little bit different.
Special, very
Something special. So we have actually gone and been busy for the last couple of weeks to create some new content for you guys. So today we are actually going to be presenting
It's a special topic for them.
special topic to close the year in a sense, right? It's more to focus a bit about your studio setup.
Studio? What kind of studio setup?
So like a home studio.
Home studio, like
Yeah.
music,
So it could be a music studio.
photography.
Photography not so much, more on music.
More on music.
More on music.
Okay, more
Yeah.
on music, and then it can be you need not to be a musician to have a music studio.
Of course not. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean you could have kind of set up for just to enjoy music in your own space, or sometimes just as a working environment you want to have a nicer environment. It's a working space that's a studio as well,
Yeah,
right?
chill out area for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Especially when our ministers had announced on the 28th of December, we have allowed people to come and visit you slightly more. Not that many lah, slightly more lah.
Yeah, but now it's still two of us, so it's not boiler room yet.
Or hopefully in a boiler room. Okay, anyway, it will be a studio. Content that I'll be sharing with you what are the things that you should look out for, and what are the budget, and how can you start. Am I
Yeah,
right?
we're covering a little bit of stuff like that, but also we're actually gonna be sharing one interview, right? So
Exclusive.
an exclusive interview with someone that I'm sure some of our viewers will be familiar with, right?
Yep.
And also there is some product review that we'll be
Yep.
sharing.
Shall we say some hi shout out to our friends watching on Twitch?
Yeah, who's watching right now? We have Jason Itchi.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey, you're here.
Yeah,
We have DJ Wirehead. What's up, Dan? Good to see you online.
yeah. Let me see Facebook. Is there anyone online? Okay, hang on.
We have some tuning in on Facebook as well.
I'm trying to get hold of.
Yes, DMB. Daniel,
that?
yeah, there was a little bit of DMB going on there.
Yeah. Today will be a slightly special dedication. But anyway, we'll wait for more people to come online, so that we can shout out to you and say hi to you and interact with you. So we shall not wait anymore, right?
Yeah, we prepare to roll the first interview, right? So this is an interview with one of my old friends, and
Our old friends.
old friends with a lot of. As in, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, that's how we
right?
met.
We've known each other for a long time. And this is an interview with Jonathan, now also known as Kiet, right?
From
From the Syndicate right, from Syndicate label, as well as back in the day, there was a lot of drum and bass parties, and he was one of the guys that was leading the guerrilla crew that was doing a lot of the parties back then. So there's a little interview that I did with John very recently. Right, so we talk a bit about process, not just about gear, right? A bit about process, about how we kind of think through your work as well.
Wow.
Right?
Okay, I'm interested.
And a bit of reflective moments about how the year has been. Right? Because it's been a challenging year for a lot of us, right? So without further ado, right, let's go ahead to roll that video.
VCR.
Hi everyone, I'm Rafi and welcome to ART or Art Rhythm Technique. Today I have a special guest with me today. This is Jonathan Na, also known as Kiet, a veteran in the music scene, as well as a graphic designer and art consultant, among other stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. My background is creatively complicated, but I'll try to explain it in the shortest possible way. I've been classically trained in school as a graphic designer so that's my trade mostly. But I also studied multimedia in college when I was in Australia. But when I came back to Singapore, I fell into the advertising industry. I did that for 12 super intense years. But concurrently while I was doing that, I think one way I kind of kept my passion afloat to keep myself safe from the pressure of the industry was to actually create nights with my friends and my community to kind of share the music that we love, which is probably how we met, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly when, but it's quite a while ago.
Because sometimes on the day job you get a bit too caught up, so you need something a bit on the side.
Yeah, I think the thing on the side kind of helps me to balance up what I do during the day. But at some point, it also not only balances out, I find it actually inspires my energy when I go back to the office on Monday. Essentially, that was why it was my own therapy. Not only for myself, but I found out through the nights that I think it was therapy for a lot of people that came throughout.
Sure,
Just to really just have fun and just to kind of just take your mind away, even for that, for that night away from the work routine that we all have to kind of bear to a certain extent.
Yeah. And talking about craft, I think one of the names, so to speak, that I know you are known for, but you cringe every time you hear, is that Kiet, the godfather of Singapore drum and bass. I mean, when we met way back then, I think that was what you were known for. I mean, the guerrilla nights.
Wait, when we met way back then, really?
It's just drum and bass was like the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yes.
And how did you kind of get into that drum and bass sound?
Well, the truth is that I have to just lay it out there. I'm actually not the first person that played drum bass in Singapore. I have to put it out. I've said this in many interviews. I think it was because of the guerrilla nights that I think maybe people had that association. To be fair, but all credit due to everyone who was involved. But I got into the sound. I remember very clearly when this exactly happened. I was actually working at Zouk after I ORD'd from the army. I was there for 9 months. I think it was 96. And I think Goldie had just released Timeless, and I think it was on FFRR Records. It was managed by Pete Tong.
Yeah.
Right? So Pete Tong had sent across, back then we had this thing called records. Promo copies, sometimes acetates.
Also known as vinyl.
Also known as vinyl, an actual thing which you can't squeeze into your phone. So anyways, we were very fortunate to have a very good range of curated new music from the UK, from the likes of Pete Tong, amongst many other DJs who had a relationship with Zouk back then. So when I was working there, I remember the promo record box came. I picked up the records and I saw this white label with Goldie Timeless on it. And I really started reading about the birth of that kind of sound in magazines such as The Face, which was quite a popular culture magazine, which I consumed quite religiously, I must admit, as well as other DJ magazines like DJ Mag and Mix Mag. They were already talking about this new thing that's bubbling in the UK underground. So coincidentally, I had the 12 inches there. I had the test press or white labels of the album, and I actually played it out in Velvet while just checking out the new records. And when I first heard it, it was like so intriguing or so interested, but like I couldn't quite understand it. But there was a certain artistry in it that kept me curious. But I wasn't full on into it yet. But I think fast forward to a few months later, I actually had the opportunity to go to London with some of my friends for a vacation. And I remember walking into a club and this lady called DJ Rap.
DJ Rap, huh?
Yeah. And she's coincidentally,
She
she's
has
also
a show
Singaporean.
in the BBC.
Correct. She plays jungle, which is like what we call prototype drum and bass. But it all kind of stems from that whole sound system culture, but fused with that whole UK breakbeat thing. So I was there. I saw her play at a party. I didn't understand the music, but somehow I felt a connection that I couldn't quite articulate. It felt like home. It was very comfortable because it had influences of house, techno, dub, reggae, all the various and jazz. So it was kind of like this massive melting pot of sounds. And it just kind of like something that just changed my DNA when I first heard it for some reason that I cannot quite articulate. I just felt super comfortable. So after that, unfortunately, I had to come back to Singapore, and then I went to Australia to study. But being Australia, because the Melbourne scene had just started kind of like bubbling on the independent scene, there are record stores that sold drum and bass records from the UK. And I started digging from the record store, I started checking out the guest DJs that came down, and then that was literally as it happened. So that was pretty much a very transformative time in my music influences.
Yeah. And that was in the mid to late 90s, right?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere between 96 loosely to about like 99, 96, 99. That was when it started kind of like, as I say, blowing up, right?
And then it kind of blew up everywhere.
Yeah, it kind of took over quite a bit. So it picked up. So during the cold winters of UK, to come to like Australia, New Zealand tour, and then at that point in time, it was like the early metal hits DJs and all those all the OGs, as they call it, of the scene. So I was really lucky to be there, and I was just there as it happened. And for those who have been to a drum and bass party, the energy is something that it's kind of hard to explain to someone. You have to kind of be there.
It's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe to anything. Don't get me wrong. I love all sorts of music. I was working in Zouk, so besides the house music, I really love hip hop, like everything, But I think the experience of the energy in a space with, everyone who's just there, not to hear music that they know, but to hear music that is so fresh, that has never been heard before.
To experience something new.
Yeah, together as a collective experience, I think that was something that really left a strong impression on me.
And moving fast forward from the late 1990s to now, you have not just DJed in clubs in Singapore and abroad, but also not just dabbled, but released quite a number of tracks. Releases LPs, your own tracks on labels in the UK, overseas. As of course now we also know that you're running the Syndicate label, which is based on mostly Singapore artists here. So how has that journey been for you as from a DJ to a music producer and to a label owner?
I think it was really a natural progression. And purely, again, it could be on hindsight, we're talking now, it's based on circumstance. So it's like, as a DJ in the drum and bass scene where I was pretty active when I was a lot younger, I think a lot of the experience was to play music which no one else had. That was a huge part of the culture. In fact, that was quite a major element in drum and bass nights, which was, I think, influenced by the Jamaican dubplate culture.
Yeah.
Which the immigrants took to the UK. So I really wanted my own music to play that no one else had. And I could give them to my friends, a select few, and they would have it, Because back then, even as limited edition, as promos are, there'll still be X amount of records that come through. So I wouldn't call it like selfish or something, but I just felt that culture it's kind of like healthy sparring. You know what I mean? You go to a gig and you draw out like a couple of tunes which no one else has.
Secret weapon.
Yeah, secret weapons. So I think that the healthy competition, which happens everywhere, I think was something that I was really like excited for. You know, you rock up to the night on the weekends at Guerrilla. You don't know who's got what record, but then until they play it, and be like, everyone's just like mind blown. Yeah, and they'll rewind it and stuff. So I think all those things was like something that got me excited. So I started making music for myself and my friends, just purely for us to play. We'll send a CD or up to London to cut a dub play and come back. You know, it's like 30 quid minus shipping, super expensive. But you had that only copy. And then from then on, you know, we were very fortunate to get signed to a few labels. I'm still putting out music on labels, but it was like a natural progression of a need to have a certain exclusivity to your music. And then that kind of grew naturally. And then when I had to take a break from that, because I think it was quite draining. I mean, it is a lot of energy running a night, I'm sure you know. But also because the scene had changed, people changed and all that. So, you know, it was time to kind of take a break and reorganize myself. And obviously Syndicate came along. But again, Syndicate was also like a need to express ourselves creatively in response to a certain time in our culture in Singapore. I remember, right? It was, you know, it wasn't because we wanted to create something different or some people may think it's cool and super left field, but it was really because a bunch of friends got together and it was something that I felt innately everyone had the experience that was unspoken, that could actually come together almost like like the Avengers with their experience. Yeah, it's kind of like asking Iron Man to dust off his suit, you know. So we got Darren, yourself in, and Safwan in, and everyone had to dust off all their armor, put it on again, and just see how a more mature version of a collective could be. And then, you know, it wasn't as though we wanted to create something. There was no end goal. I mean, the goal was just for us to have a platform just to express ourselves. And then with that, you know, we obviously got to meet a lot of like-minded musicians. And we felt that everyone also enjoyed expressing themselves, you know, without trying to conform to anything except their own personal taste. So I think that was pretty much the fuel till today, and that's kept me inspired.
This year has been quite challenging for many artists,
to say the least,
or creatives, to say the least, because I mean with COVID season and everything, it was pretty tough, because there were no more gigs. There are no more performances. And they're like basically touring is kind of basically stopped, right? And so what would you say would inspire you to continue creating in a time like this?
It's been super challenging, I'm not gonna lie. At the start of the year, you know, there was a huge anxiety internally because, like, you know, we were having releases for people like Cold Flow and Dot G, and we wanted to have gigs because no thanks to streaming, unfortunately, you know, the income of an artist these days had to be heavily reliant by performances and touring, especially in Singapore. We have to travel because we can't really tour in Singapore. So I think that I was honestly I was quite openly guilty about it, but there's nothing I could do about it. But after managing my internal emotions about it, I could only handle the way I knew best, was just to be positive and just to try to keep the energy up of everyone around, alongside with Safwan and Cherry, and just to stay focused on what people had to give, you know, in these times. And we were very honest about the fact that not everyone had the energy to give, because, you know, priorities, survival mostly, myself included, always weighed in the back of our minds. But I think there was, you know, we were blessed to be around a lot of inspiring musicians, you know, people like Bunny Heikel and obviously Safwan, amongst many others, who actually found something in these times to draw from and to share through their craft. So I think that positivity, you know, no matter how big or small, I think the fact that they could give creatively, I think for me was quite inspiring. And to see so many people being able to give creatively despite the current circumstance, I think that kind of made everyone feel like, you know what, despite everything that's been happening in the world, we can still keep our heads together and kind of just share this common expression, I guess, through music.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, is also social media has a part to play in a sense where, because we see what everyone is doing in their isolation, and that kind of helps me as well to see like, oh, okay, this what some other folks are still putting out.
Yeah.
So there's still things coming out.
Yeah, stuff is still going on.
From not just our scene here in
everywhere,
Singapore,
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Like our friends in Melbourne, or UK, US.
Correct.
They come together even though there was no gigs. I mean, other than live streams, everyone does live streams now. But like, at least there are small pockets of like creative juices that are still flowing.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing, right? I mean, it's a small pockets, but the thing is that, you know, as challenging as it was with the little bits of expression of channels to express themselves or ourselves, I think the fact that people still did it regardless of, you know, not getting the monetary feedback through, i.e. gigs to pay the bills, and they still did it, I think that's a very ultra generous thing, because, you know, I mean, to begin with, artists or creative lives are really challenging at the bottom line, right? Let alone doing electronic music, let alone doing electronic music in Singapore, let alone doing not so I won't say commercial, but, you know, it's like
non-mainstream.
It's like non-mainstream. It's like, you know, we just pretty much just slice this pie so small for ourselves that we are like, you know, it's like a few layers deep from already what is challenging. But I guess that goes to show that there are people out there who just, regardless of what, they'll just do what they believe in, and I think that's super cool coming from Singapore. Because I never, if someone told my younger self, like, hey, this is what it could be, like, my, you know, what it is now, I would find it a bit of a struggle to believe it. To be honest, I know it sounds cynical, but I'm not discounting everyone's efforts, of course. But if I can be open about it and go like, even when I was young, if someone told me there could be a drum and bass scene or like a beat scene in Singapore, I'd be like, nah, how's that technically possible in Singapore? You know what I mean? I'm not discounting anything, but I'm just, my point of view personally only, not everyone else's, but just like, you know, I was a bit like cynical if I was younger, you know, because I could never imagine the scene being what it is today through our experience. I don't know if you agree with me, but, you know.
Just nice. Yeah, that was part one of the interview with Jonathan, now also known as Kiet. So it's sharing quite a bit about how this year has been pretty challenging for a lot of artists and
lot of people,
music
actually.
producers, a lot of creatives, right?
That's right.
And I think it's a good insight on how you process it, you know, about being stuck in a time like now. I mean, thankfully, Singapore, our lockdown wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Actually, he brought up one very good point that he tried to focus on the positive side, you know, rather than all the negative, which is, it really happened. What can you do? There's nothing much you can do about it. Why not look at the positive side? And then, of course, later on, he did share with us about the local scene, you know, pretty interesting. If you've been in Singapore long enough, about clubbing more enough, you're able to see there are different collectives and groups around there. Although people might start to say, oh, this scene, that scene, actually all of us as one big family.
Yeah. And I mean, it all started here in like John was sharing in the mid 90s. It was already very healthy music scene here.
Definitely.
Not just in the band indie music scene, but in the electronic music scene. It was pretty active already.
Correct.
Then.
And we were there to support one another. Rather than competing, we actually, why not come over to our gig and then just perform?
Fun times, man.
Yeah, we just invite each other and then we just go to each other's events and support one another. Who else? Only us. To really could be there for one another, to keep the scene alive.
Totally.
So, there's no, divides here and there. No, definitely not. So, of course, later on into our content, our evening, we will be sharing with you more about studio setup.
Yeah. So, this is just the part one of the chat with Kiet. So, in the second half later on, that we'll share with you guys, right? Then in the second half, we talk a little bit more about process in the studio, how they create work in the
Oh.
and also some tips about what to look out for the coming year, right? and the hint is not just hardware.
Yeah, hardware only can help you so much. End of the day, still got to come from you. And
Yeah.
how do you get inspiration and so forth and so on. But before that,
We actually do have some hardware to talk about,
yes,
right?
definitely. We have some hardware to share with you. And all thanks to Chris Chua, if you're watching right now.
Yeah, shout out to Chris from Acoustic and Lighting.
For loaning us the equipment for us to review. And right now we're going to show the equipment that we're going to be review on, which
Yeah.
is definitely you might find suitable for your studio.
Yeah. So let's check it out.
Yep, check it out.
Let's roll that video.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Rafi and this is,
Jason Itchi.
and we are here for Art Rhythm Technic or ART.
That's right.
So today we have something a little special. We got some new gear to show, right?
Yes,
So who did we get this from?
I think we got it from an acoustic lighting system.
Acoustic Lighting Systems.
That's
Big
right.
shout out to Chris at Acoustic
Thank you,
Lighting
Chris.
System. We have something new to unbox and
Down
review.
here.
So let's have a look.
Okay.
All right.
So this is how it looks like.
Wow, that's a pretty handsome looking monitor, don't you guys think? Check out how fierce the grills look like. And it has this really nice kind of a double edging around the woofer. And the tweeter housing, it has kind of like a PA system. If you have a large size PA system, you have a horn loaded tweeter.
Oh, the old school one.
Yeah,
During
it
the
kind of
World War
has
time.
that look, doesn't
Ah.
it? So it has a
See,
look
okay,
of that
bring it.
horn-loaded kind of a tweeter. It looks quite fierce. I quite like this. And the little ports on the bottom, as you can see, the little holes here. So these are bass ports. It will let the air out when you're playing your music, especially when you're playing it loud, so you don't get the chuffing from the back of the speaker. Because
So-
sometimes if you're too much bass, you get like.
Right,
Kind of
right.
sound.
Actually, it will not so good to the speaker, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this is the front look.
Let's
and
check
the
out the back.
side look. And the finishing still maintained it is. And then usually when, a lot of times, some of the speakers they're finishing, especially the back. This looks, they make it seamless because sometimes you can see there's a kind of like aluminum, not aluminum, the lamination.
The laminates separated.
Correct,
right?
you can see at the edge there, but this seems like
It's very
seamless.
nicely finished.
yes.
Where the active portion here is drilled in nicely. There's no like open gaps or anything.
Yeah.
And like you said, like they don't see any kind of laminate gaps and all that. It's very nicely done.
I'm very, very surprised at the craftsmanship for this.
Very neat back panel, right? So it's super neat. There's not too much
Super.
information through. This Aria Pro 6, which is a 6-inch version, is the middle brother. Okay, he has a younger brother, the Aria Pro 5, which is 5-inch, and then we have a Aria Pro 8, which is an 8-inch woofer. Right. So this guy goes frequency response 45 Hz to 20 kHz. That's pretty low, 45 Hz. Right, and a maximum SPL of 109 dB. That's pretty loud. That's pretty loud.
Remember in one of our episodes we're talking about sharing about the headphone. So this is the time that you actually can apply that kind of knowledge to choose your monitor speaker.
Yeah. Let's move this down the center so you guys can see.
So see how long is the cable? Oh,
That's not bad. That's not bad.
yeah. To be honest, this is considered a very, very good length. Because some of the speakers actually comes with a slightly shorter. I wouldn't say how short it could be.
A meter, one.
Yeah, usually they give you a meter, but this one approximately 1.5 or to
I
2.
think almost 2 meters.
Almost 2.
Yeah, that's good. So I mean, you position it in your studio, you can kind of have your power sockets in the middle and have the cables going to the center. and that's good.
So what if I want to change the pin to 3 pins? Hey,
You can easily buy an IEC, which is this kind of a
those computer type
computer
one,
kind of
right?
cable, right?
Yeah.
So your standard, what we call jack plug,
Jack plug.
IEC cable, you can just buy any standard one. Make sure it's 3 pin, right? Because this kind of equipment needs to be grounded. So let's have a listen to some different types of music,
Yep.
and we'll be right back.
Yeah. We did.
We did. Come back. Okay.
We're actually back anyway.
Again. Let's continue.
Yeah, but anyway, there are a few genres that we tested on this speakers, this pair of speakers. And then so far, how do you feel?
We tested out some different type of music, which is mainly some jazz, contemporary music,
Bossa Nova,
some hip hop,
Yeah.
some techno, dance music,
metal,
heavy
metal.
metal, progressive metal.
Yes.
So
Rock.
we did go through a whole range of music playback in high quality digital audio via this audio interface. And first impressions, I find that these speakers are pretty nice sounding. They sound pretty clean for most of the kinds of music, right? We can hear the nice separation with the low, the highs, right?
yeah.
So the vocals and instruments really come out quite nicely.
That's right.
And drums and acoustic music especially sounds quite nice.
Yeah, it can literally, quite a well-rounded kind of speakers. But I realized something when just now earlier on when we tested on using playing rock music or even metal music. I don't know, I just somehow can't really hear the guitar when it comes to the distortion part.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Could you explain to me why is that so?
Yeah, when we played some heavy metal and rock music, especially music with distortion on the guitars, it sounds like it got lost somewhere
Yeah.
in the speaker. Like it didn't really come out as cleanly. And I must say that it's only happened during the parts where the songs have a lot of distortion.
Yeah, where the guitar.
So the mid-range was being a bit lost, right? So I think it's just the way that the speaker is responding to the mid-range. The highs is okay, the lows are okay, but
that's
the
right.
mid-range kind of gets stuck a bit.
Kind of like, I would say in Malay where we say got makan into it. Like somehow that, where did it went to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when we refer to the specs of this speaker, the technical specifications, the crossover frequency between the woofer and the tweeter
Alright.
is at 2000 hertz.
So it's 2000, 20.
Yeah. So 2000 hertz is actually quite close to where your vocal range is.
Oh, I hit the mic. Yeah,
and,
vocal range.
And it's also where a lot of the mid-range happens. So it could be because of this acoustic design of the speaker that the crossover is at 2000 hertz. We might lose some of that where the woofer is trying to take over the low end and then the tweeter is trying to take over the high end. So that might be the reason why
Something
the sound
that
a bit
we,
muddy.
yeah.
Yeah, but where the high is good, the low is good.
Yeah.
But there's something about the highs that you want to say as well.
The highs, okay, when we tested the time, we set everything to 0, which means at the back, it allowed you to lower it down for the highs and the low. For the high, you can lower it to -1 decibel, or you can keep it at 0, neutral, or you can +1 decibel to push it higher one more step. For the bass, it can go to lower, -2, and then also can additional 2. So we realized that when everything we set to 0, yes, it sounds pretty decent, but somehow the high is kind of a bit missing. So we decided to push a little bit, which is that we +1, and then everything just come back beautiful.
Yeah, at the +1 setting, I find that it sounds more natural. It sounded more open. The highs of the
Excuse me.
achoo.
So sorry.
It's okay. All right, let's.
Let's come back to this. Okay, when we
Okay.
talk about the high, I decided to push +1.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we find that when you set the speaker, the high frequency trim, as they call it on this speaker, when we set it to +1, the speakers sound a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
Right. So the high frequencies of your instruments, vocal, things like hi-hat,
Yeah.
it stands out right?
Yeah,
So you can hear the clarity there.
It's there for you to listen.
But when it's set to 0, it's like lost behind.
It's trying to, you can hear it's trying to, but you prefer to set it +1. We would prefer that, is for us, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when come to the low frequency trim, although we set it to 0 and realize, okay, not bad, and we kind of curious, so we set it +2, and then, oh, it really gives you the oomph. You can
Yeah,
feel.
it does feel a bit more full, especially
Yeah.
when you're playing dance music.
Correct, you can feel the But I realized something is, it gives you a very round bass, but it doesn't give you the punchy. Some people
Not
say
so
punch.
punchy,
Yeah,
right?
not so
Not so
punchy.
punchy.
But it's still there. It's still there. It's not really that overly compensate that it being removed away. But it can be better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think
can be
if
better.
it's good rounded bass that is good enough that you don't really need to add a subwoofer.
Yeah.
It's not a must to add a subwoofer. But if you are probably if you're adding a subwoofer on this, you might want to set it to -2
Yes,
for the bass, and then you turn on your subwoofer.
So what we're trying to say is that you get this pair, you don't even need a subwoofer at the end of the day. Overall, the performances, I would say, is still quite pretty decent. As quite a wholesome set of speaker. But we realized that on the box, it says it's monitor speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm a consumer, do you recommend me to buy it really to use it in the studio, or I can use it as a daily usage?
Good question. So if these speakers are going to be used for studio monitor, that means you're using this to create music, to record, and to mix down music. There's some pros and cons,
Right.
Because generally for music studios, the monitor speakers, you want to get something that sounds neutral, right? So it doesn't sound too heavy on the bass, it doesn't sound too bright, but it's just nice, it's neutral, so that when you mix and record your music, you get what you want, right? You get the clarity, you get the balance and all that.
That's
So
right.
for this speaker, it has a little bit less of that in the high frequency.
Okay.
Right, so the high frequency we needed to boost it a bit here, and then the lows are quite extended. Right, it's quite low. So and the listening experience was a lot more colored. Colored meaning it feels nice and rounded. It's a pleasant listening experience, but it didn't sound very neutral. Right, so if you are going to use this for recording and mixing, you may not get such an accurate mix as compared to using a pair of Yamaha HS5, which is or HS7, which is the 7-inch. That's very flat, very neutral.
Right.
But this would probably be something similar to things like your KRK Rockets, which have good low end, which are used by a lot of music producers for listening as well as mixing. So kind of in between that. Yeah.
Talking about that, in the studio, most of the time, if you really want it, you can have one flat one and one for this.
Yeah, of course, if you got the budget lah.
Okay, talking about budget, do you want to make a guess how much?
Oh.
Make a guess how much does this cost? I mean, based on the exterior and the sound experience that you had.
But judging from the build quality and the sound quality, I would place this maybe around $300 to $400.
Sing dollars.
Sing dollars
300 to 400 Sing dollars for one pair.
for one piece.
One piece.
That's my guess.
$300 to $400. Yeah. Apparently you're
Thereabouts.
yeah, thereabouts. So what we
so
are
what's
given,
the retail price then?
yeah, what we given, what has been given to us was one. It costs about 360 Sing dollars before goods and service tax. So it's depending on your own country, now how much tax some of the VAT needs to pay slightly higher. So we do not know, but based in Singapore, it costs you about 360 before GST.
360. That's not too bad actually.
Yeah,
right?
for one. So one pair makes it about 720 before GST. Yeah. So
$700,
approximately about 750.
750 for a pair of very decent sounding speakers. I think this you can spend, I think, for about the same budget. You could get something from Personas or KRK, comparable brands that have a similar size, similar power, and similar performance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can make your own decision. Again, in our previous episode, when we talk about sounding, It's all your personal preference, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Some people prefer, oh, this kind of sound. This is for you. You just go for it. Nobody's gonna stop you. But some people want to have a few tests, then you make their final decision. It's totally fine.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So the best is to always have a listen yourself, and then you can decide for yourself if this is exactly what you like. Right? For us, I think, or for me at least, I find that these speakers are very nice for listening to music.
Yep.
And if I had this in my home, they would probably be sitting in the living room.
Wow,
For
you're
listening
rich.
to music. If I had these, of course, I don't own this because this is an unbiased review.
Yeah.
But I would not I probably would not use this for work, like for monitoring or mixing sound.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another pair of speakers.
So that's for you.
yeah.
okay.
That's my preference.
Yeah, for me, I would because they have another range, which is the 5 series. The
That's the
model is
Aria Pro 5.
Right? Yeah, and that would be slightly a little bit about approximate $100 lesser. So I might want to give that a listen first, and before I make my decision for this too. But if I really have to make a decision right now, choosing this Pro 6, like pretty similar as what Rafi is, yeah. I might not use because for a monitor because it sounds good when I listen to leisure listening, and then maybe even for movie.
Yeah, for movies might be quite nice.
Yeah,
You get the low end. You watch
Yeah, I can boost to +2 from the lower end.
Yeah, awesome. So you want to wrap up this little review?
Yeah, okay, for this pair of speakers, again, we would like to give thanks to our friend Chris. Big shout to Chris from
Acoustic and lighting, system.
So if you will really like this pair of speakers, do drop us a comment or even email or even follow us on our Facebook, which is Art Rhythm Technic, or can go to artrhythmtechnic.com.
Yeah, that's right.
You definitely will reach it to us and then drop us a mail, and then we can hook you guys up for maybe a special price.
Yeah, let us know if you're interested to purchase this speaker or any other RCF products. Just drop us an email or a message.
Yeah, that's right. So end of the day, out of 10, I will give this approximately about 6 to 7, between 6 to 7.
Thereabouts, yeah. I think I'll give it
thereabout.
about a 7 out of 10. Pretty good performance, and overall very well built. I think if I purchase this, it would last for quite a long time.
Wow. Maybe you can pass to your children.
Maybe.
So that's it for today for the review for RCF Pro 6. So till our next review.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, signing off, Jason Itchi.
Rafi Din. You've been watching ART.
Yeah.
All right.
So you know what speaker to get?
Depends how much you want to spend. Right. So these are not bad. Those are pretty good speakers. But just like any gear that you purchase, sometimes there's a bit of hit, sometimes a bit of miss. Yeah, pros and cons in almost everything you buy.
There's no perfect speaker, to be honest, because end of the day is the user, right? Remember our previous episode talking about headphones?
Yeah.
It's all about personal preference, right?
That's right.
It could be the perfect speaker for you. You never know. So if anyone has any gears for us to review for you, just drop us a message or even to email us.
Yeah, you can drop us an email at info@artrhythmtechnic.com, right? Or just follow us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/artrhythmtechnic.
Rhythm Technic.
So just drop us a message, and if you have any gear that you'd like us to review, just let us know as well in the comments down below.
Where? Whether it's below
Or on
or
the
at the
side,
side.
if you're on Twitch. Is it this side? Am I pointing the right side? Yeah, this side.
Yeah. So what's going to happen right now is that, as you can see,
someone's getting ready to play some tunes.
Yeah.
He's got his silver HD 25s on.
Yeah, everything all grey, silver. Yeah.
So, Jason Itchi, are you ready?
Yeah.
Take us away, man.
break my fire, break my holiday. Make a fire, make us fight, make us run again. Take my smile, cause it's not worth the face it's written on without you. I'm asking too much of your heart. Maybe I'm asking too much of your heart. But we just can't help ourselves once we start. No. I know I'm asking too much of your heart. Yeah.
Come to me in those open arms is where I wanna be. Living free. I need to be in your love. In those open arms is where I wanna be. Living free. I need to be in your love.
Must own self add effect.
Manual effect.
So cool, man.
It's been a while. We here in a city live, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to set this thing first.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, normal. I hope you guys enjoy the impromptu drum and bass mix that I did for you earlier on. I don't know, some of you might find familiar with some of the artists, especially the first one was LTJ Booker. Big shout out to you. How are you, man?
Yeah, awesome, man. If you're watching this, probably not, but you're awesome.
Yeah, big shout out. I still remember when I'm back in Singapore, we interviewed you at Zook. And then, well, we went to our friend's house, we would chill out together, and the following day, in a small, little, tiny car that we had. And we had a good time. And thanks.
Those were the days.
Yeah, and thanks for giving us your exclusive materials. Knowing that we are a big fan of you and, of course, MC Conrad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So some of the liquid drum and bass beats, man. I haven't heard those kind of tunes for a while. So thanks for that, man.
Yeah. Anytime.
Cool. So we're moving on to our second half of the program.
Okay.
Right,
So
second
what
half.
would that be? Is it, of course, tonight, we need to introduce ourselves one more time because there's a second half, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Rafi Din.
And I am Jason Itchi, and you're watching
ART,
stands for
Art, Rhythm.
and Technic. Yes, and it happens every last Wednesday of the month at 8
That's right.
p.m. to 10 p.m. And sometimes we were a little bit overshot, but you can always catch us, pre-recorded show on our Facebook.
Yeah, you can check out the replay after this live stream is done. So the replay video will be on the Singapore Community Radio YouTube channel, as well as we'll link it up on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/artrhythmtechnic.
Technic, and that's right. If you're watching us live right now, definitely you either on Twitch or on Facebook. Give us a shout out and say hi to us. We will definitely respond back to you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So for today's topic, we'll be covering and share with you related to studio. And earlier on, we had an interview with our friend.
Yeah, so we had the part one of the interview with Jonathan Na, also known as Kiet, earlier on. So he was sharing a little bit about process, how he got to where he is today as a music producer, and also doing a lot of design and art-based work as well. So very similar theme to what we do for our show, right? So there's art, there's music, and also some talk about gear. So this second half of the interview, which we'll be playing in just a little bit, will cover some of the tools that John or Kiet uses for his music production.
Is that hardware tools or software?
He'll share a little bit more about
Right.
it.
So let's get ready.
So let's roll that video.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. As time changes, or rather as time passes, because of the way the scene kind of grew, and also accessibility to create became easier through the years.
Correct.
So it developed in a kind of exponential.
Yeah, I think the availability of software and hardware, but mostly software, to everyone. I mean, you can make music on your GarageBand, on your phone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Exactly.
I mean, Steve Spacek does that on his phone when he's traveling, a whole album. So it's like, I mean, the tools are there. You just have to do it, as opposed to, there's no excuse if, besides laziness.
Lazy.
Lazy lah.
So picking up from that. So if what would you tell someone that would be interested to kind of pick up creating music, specifically like music production for electronic music? What would you tell someone that would like to follow this path that you kind of carved for yourself over the years? What would be your piece of advice?
My older self would be like, please think it through. it's a very, very challenging industry to be in, as you know, as it is right now. But I think my piece of advice, really, honestly, right now, is to ask yourself why you're doing this. That's the most important thing, because it's a lot easier to go like, I want to make music or make money through music from a certain thing, be it through pop music and whatever. That's fine. But I think what pulls you through the toughest times is the reason why you're doing it. I think, so I'm sure you must have seen alongside with me, like talented artists who display huge promise, but maybe life takes over. Through no fault of theirs, of course. And then they have other needs that they need to do. And then, the craft takes a downturn. And, and there's a lot of people that they have seen come and go. lah. But I think what's important is really ask yourself, honestly, truthfully, why you're doing this, what's it for, and be honest about your motivation. Because that's the one when it comes to the crunch, right? When times like this happen, where you're being tested emotionally or even spiritually, I think this is what your second nature would draw from to either make you sink or swim. Yeah.
So the know your why.
Yeah, I think it's really know your why. To be honest, if you want to do like music, electronic, like say pop music, for example, that's super cool. I mean, people like Billie Eilish are like, she and her brother making music in the bedrooms. Amazing, right? And then you have guys like BTS who are like self-produced and they're like, I mean, there's no need to describe what they've done. But it's just the case of, you don't want to be that person who think you're doing this for that reason, and not truthful to yourself. And then when stuff doesn't happen, get frustrated. But the truth is that there's so many people in the world having access to the same tools or the same synths or the presets or whatever. So it's really beyond the tools. It's really your intention to yourself and, and the spirit within to go like, what is the core driving factor that you want to do this for? I really believe. It's not just the music. I think it's everything.
Earlier, you touched a little bit about the tools. Right? So some of the different tools that you may use to create, right? So for yourself as a music producer, so what would be your tools to create, like in your favorite tools? Because there's plenty, right?
So I went through. Your favorite I went through this as with every music producer. I guarantee you go through the whole range of like I want to do hardware because it's nice to turn knobs and do faders, So I went through the whole phase. I had a mixing desk, I had outboard gear and effects and all that. Then I realized that I became so distracted by the gear that I think my music lost something because I was just so dependent on the gear and the effects and the compressor to make things fat that I forgot that at the end of the day, what makes a good track is it's just like a good melody or a good drum pattern or whatever, which I think I kind of like noticed it quite quickly. So I threw all that aside and just kept myself only committed to one synth, which was Omnisphere for the last 5 years. Omnisphere, and I used all internal plugins from Ableton mostly. But recently, a few years ago, Black Friday, I got the Waves pack, so I have a standard, just a Waves pack, so at least all my music sounds consistent at the end process. So I think what I've done is actually I streamlined all my hardware and software to actually purposely to limit myself. So I have to get creative with whatever little I have. And that forced me to write more interesting melodies, hopefully. Or like kind of look at the bare bones of a track and make sure like, is it really good enough to stand on its own as it is without the sprinkles of effects and everything. So, and it was something that I've actually learned through time and learned through working with other people, some of my peers overseas who have a way more experience and they've been writing pretty good music since day one. So I've seen them work, we've collaborated and we've discussed ideas. And what I've learned really is like, your elements, each one really has to be really good, stand on its own. And, don't try to like cover it up with effects and reverb and delay and whatever effects, because at the end of the day, the melody is not good or the heart of the track is not good. It's just not good. You could get away with it, but I think you're not doing justice to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the core of it is the content.
Yeah. It's like a human being, right? Your bones have to be strong, your lungs have to be strong for you to breathe, you got to drink enough water. So everything is just everything is just focused. Everything is balanced and focused. You know, if you want to build more muscle, you know, grow your hair long, all that, that's fine. But at least at your core, you're like stable and strong. So with that kind of theory in mind, I always feel that, that's always like the elements or the ingredients have to be as good as it can possibly be before everything else comes along.
Yeah. And also because when you limit yourself to I would say a fixed set of tools, you tend to study it a bit more.
Correct.
And you know how to control it better. Right?
Yeah, correct. Because when I remember I started off seriously tinkering with production when Reason came out. Because it allowed you that one platform to, you know, mess around. That was fine. Then me being me was just like, oh man, I'm gonna try Logic when it first came out. When Apple bought over Logic, it had all these synths and all these beautiful like 5,000 reverbs all built in everything. Then I realized I just got too deep into the software and I forgot actually the focus should be on music. Because, you know, one reverb effect led to another. And
It's
then
like 4 hours of hearing the kick jump.
Yeah, and then you kind of like forget like, hey, actually at the end of the day, right, what works best, I mean, at the point in time in a club, it's not really how good your reverb is. You know, it's really the track itself.
The hook.
The drums,
bassline.
the way it drops, and you know, I mean, the best tracks till today, not just in like electronic music, but in any music, usually is the most simple tracks, the nicest melodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, then that's really the essence of it. You know your tools, use them well.
Yeah, use them well.
And yourself as also, because you double hat, you have your music producer hat, and also you have your designer hat.
Yeah.
As in graphic design, art design. So, how do you kind of
balance it both?
Balance that. It's a similar but quite different craft, right?
I used to literally change hats day and night when the sun went down. I change hats consciously, you know. But I realized that, in fact, I kind of over the last few years, because you know my life has not slowed down, but mentally I've slowed down a lot. And actually, through the process of meditation, I remember one day it just occurred to me. I had this thought that actually design, art, and music is exactly the same thing, because with music you have waveforms, right? And with art and color, I mean loosely in terms of the design or the visual art itself, colors are also waveforms. So when that kind of clicked to me, I was just like, oh, hang on, so I should approach it in the same way. You know, because like how color makes people happy, you know, certain frequencies make people happy. So I kind of just had that overall blanketing mindset when I do my design work or my music work. So I don't try to change my hats. I just see it as this time around my output for this particular my material is music, you know. But my intention is to make people happy, sad, or awkward or whatever. I mean, I'm just this is really loose. So like with design, I go in with like a more mindset of like, you know, how do I want to make people feel with my art or design or logo? Do I make happy, or do I make them want to feel thoughtful about it? So instead of applying frequencies or effects, I'll just apply color or form or shape. So I've come to a point in my life where I'm actually seeing the visual form and music form as really like just almost same but different, but more of the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. So it's kind of like working with different canvas.
Yeah. With the
So
same.
like when you're doing design, you're working with a canvas that is visual. But when you're doing music, you're working with a canvas that is auditory.
Yeah, because in both cross or disciplines, you can have ideas of, you know, of tension. In music, you have, you know, chords and stuff. But in art or design, tension could be communicated by layout, colors, or typography. You know, so I think I really see it as just a different way of communicating a similar intention within my own consciousness of reflecting over the last few years. I just came to that very loose model that, you know, the shared common thing about waveforms and color and sound, or something that I just kind of like thought that, oh, actually, hang on, It's actually kind of simple. I'm not simple, but
It's related.
Yeah, it's related. How colors make people happy. Because I'm sure if you're feeling down, you wear a colorful shirt, you feel better. I mean, for me, I feel better about myself, or if someone else sees something that's colorful, oh, that's pretty. Like the way you see a flower or a sunrise or a sunset.
Yeah.
They're all colors and they're all frequencies. It's just that we're not conscious that they are frequencies. You just see, oh, that's a pink sunset that we could have seen during phase 1 when there was less pollution. So it's like, all these like subconscious ways that our body interprets information. I think it's something that I've kind of like got a bit more sensitive to in the last few years. I'm pretty thankful for that, and I've been trying to just cultivate those little findings in my head and try to apply it to my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Then how does it, just to kind of segue a little bit into like your workspace, as a studio, and right now we are in John's studio, also the home office, also the where the business happens.
Also
and
the storeroom.
Also the storeroom. So this is like the studio space for you. And based on the tools that you use right now, and also because like the year has come to a close right now, and 2021 is coming hot on the heels. So what are some of the things that you find that works really well for what you do in your studio space now, and what are the kind of little bits and bobs that maybe you're thinking about to improve, or maybe bits of kit or bits of gear that you're looking at adding on to the studio for 2021?
Software-wise, I've actually just added this over Black Friday, which was a plugin called Portal and Serum. Portal and Thermal. They're actually they're kind of like reverby / distortion stuff that can be designed or modulated. So you could take a simple kick drum, and that kick drum could become almost like a mini melody with like pitch bending and shifting. Yeah, so it kind of creates a life out of something that may not be so lively. So I've only restricted myself to getting these two things. I'm going to use it for the next 4 years. 4 years. Yeah, because I really try to have like one new plugin now, just use it for 4 years and try to go as deep as I can. Because previously, back in my Logic days, I had a whole folder of plugins. Honestly, I hardly probably use even 10% of it, and it got distracting. So I'm using Portal and Thermal to actually give my sound a bit more of a color. And hopefully I'm going to use it in more unconventional ways with my other drums or samples to see whether what else could we do besides what it's designed to do, which is what's exciting to me. Apart from that, I think I mentioned to you before this, I think the most important toolkit for 2021 as a result of this year is actually just your mental and physical space, state. Yeah, so I think being physically, not physically fit, but taking good care of your body and getting enough rest and food. At the risk of sounding like a old dude, trust me, it's true. I've spoken to the younger people and they also agree, so it's not just me, that being physically well really affects the way not only you feel, but the way you think about a lot of things, and in these challenging times, I think that's really the best tool, be it through meditation, through sport, or through prayer, whatever you need to kind of feel some form of connection to a deeper source. I think that helps you to be essentially not only be a better person, but I think you'll be a better creative person. Because when you're feeling balanced and good mentally and you're open, that's when things happen. As opposed to you've had bad days, or I've had bad days. I wake up and it could be the best thing sitting in front of me, but I'm just not in the mood to look at it, and then it kind of goes away. I'm sure we've all been through that. So I'm just going to try to minimize that, because I got the whole depression, anxiety over earlier phase 1 quite quickly, and I just figured that the only way to really move forward and stay strong, not only for myself and for people around me, is just to really be mentally and physically stable. No harm being
So the one thing to really work towards is to be fit physically and
that would be the best plugin. Of course, plugins will be good, but if you're not in the mood, You can have the massive studio in front of you, but you will not hear or see something that would be good because you're just not in the right mind state, and I think we all know that the way we feel really affects how we see things.
Yeah.
So I think as strange as it may sound, I think that would be my best advice for anyone who's just to one.
Why not? I mean, that's
Why
very,
not,
very
huh?
important, right?
Yeah.
If you are not able to function well, you can't produce well.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And you will not be able to see clearly and think clearly and decide clearly what you think is good or not good for yourself. And
Cool.
I think that's it, man.
Thanks a lot for your time, John.
Good. Thanks for having me, Rafi.
We're gonna wrap up this session, but maybe we'll drop some tips if you have some info about maybe some of those plugins that you mentioned,
Yeah.
or some of your resources about meditation that kind of help you through this. You can just drop us the links and we'll link it up in the comment
Yeah.
section below later.
Hit me up through Rafi.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, John, for your time.
Thanks, good dude.
We'll catch you again soon.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. So how many hats usually do you wear?
For me,
Yeah.
I only have one hat lah. I think. No. For me, I think it's I mean, I do also not just video music kind of work, but I think I also do some work that involve planning, management, and all that. I mean, not so much like design kind of stuff. I mean, I know you do.
Yeah.
You do all kinds of design and stuff. But for me, I mean, the changing of the hats is quite interesting also,
Yeah.
because the process of creating in music or auditory sonic creation
That's
and visual creation, when John mentioned that it's all about frequencies, right?
That's
Wow, that's quite like, wow. Really drop a lot of wisdom bombs there. So shout out to John Kiet. Thank you so much for the interview. I think you really shared a lot of wisdom that can help not just people that are already in this scene and industry, but people who are interested to find out
That's
how
right.
to get into
That's
this
right.
kind of stuff, right?
Thank you very much for interviewing our friends there.
Yeah,
sharing all
my
the good
pleasure.
stuff. So what's gonna happen right now is that we're gonna go back to the studio technical stuff again. Something to watch out for this particular new range coming up from Audix.
Yeah, Audix. Yeah.
So Audix is from a brand from USA, and they are famous for their mics, right?
Yeah, Audix is a company that are actually quite popular, making microphones that are used for either drum kits or instruments.
Wow.
But this is probably the first Audix headphone
Yeah, they are
that
Leonine.
I've ever
Leonine.
used.
Yes. Being announced this year during one of the show. And then, of course, you can find out a lot of information on their website or even on YouTube related about this new products that they are launching. And of course, a big shout out to Chris from Acoustic and Lighting System for letting us this opportunity to review this particular headphone from
Yeah,
Audix.
that's right.
Yeah, so we're going to share with you our review right now.
Right? Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Hi again, welcome to Art Rhythm Technique. My name is Rafi Dean, and this is...
I'm Jason Itchi.
And today we have something else. What is this?
We're going to check this out. This is a headphone, a professional headphone by Audix.
Audix.
Yeah, and this model is A152. And once again, we would like to big shout to Chris
At Acoustic and Lighting
System for passing this to us to let us review and check it out. So apparently, Audix did actually announce this year that this will be their new production line. Okay, this is in their new production line, and they're going to make a professional headphone. And this model that we have in our hands is model A152 Studio. What is it? Reference headphones with extended bass.
I wonder how the bass will sound.
So right now we're going to unbox.
Let's see what's inside the box.
Inside the box. Oh, I don't really like this one, the white color.
As a standard carton box.
Yeah, standard carton box. Oh, whoa!
Oh, nice hard shell case.
Yeah, it comes with a hard shell case. You want to take out?
Let's see. Anything else?
Yeah, nothing.
That's it.
Okay, throw the box.
Got a nice hard shell case here. You can have a look. It's like those big cases you get from your branded headphones. Nice, and you don't even give, right? It doesn't even give. It doesn't really.
This
like,
is
squash at
very,
all.
very good hard shell. So you not
Well
to
done.
have to worry that you stuff it into your duffel bag or even your backpack that your headphone
Yeah,
get crushed.
and it's not too thick, so it's like you can fit it in a backpack.
Approximately about 6 or 7 cm.
Yeah, it's not too thick. It's like I've seen some headphone cases. Like I have a headphone case for my studio headphones, which is
chunky.
like twice this thickness. Right. So that's cool. Let's see what's inside.
Unzip.
Unzip.
How's the zip? Good? Smooth?
Good.
Ta-da! Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. So you should go this way. Alright. Audix. Alright. So that's the headphones. You wanna take it out, Jason?
Yep, I'm gonna take it up.
And we
So this is how
have-
they make it so flat.
Yeah. The pads turn inwards to open, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can keep it.
So is it wireless headphone?
No. It has there's a wire.
Aha! There's the wire here. Okay, the cable comes separately. Right, so there's a little baggie here with the cable. Oh, it's a nice, what do you call this? Braided.
Which is right
Braided
now quite
cable.
trendy, especially for handphone charger,
Yeah.
that kind of cable. So that this method of wiring, it can last for very, very long time. Unlike those rubbery type, right? It will disintegrate. Especially in Singapore weather. This is excellent. This is excellent, definitely. And it's gold. Remember our topic in our previous episode?
Gold-plated.
Gold-plated. 3.5 inch.
And you know what I like about this? It comes with a locking
Yes.
connector for your 1/4-inch adapter.
Yep.
So if you're plugging this into your studio equipment, you can put it in and make sure that it never comes off accidentally.
Yeah, this one is very, very common issue whereby, many DJs, those are not screw-under DJs or even producers. Those are removable and it's easy. They always leave it behind and we always got extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is one good
Quite
thing.
nice. Let's see how long this cable is. And what else is there in the box?
It comes with a headphone user guide. And of course at the back it tells you the warranty. Let me take a look.
Oh, pretty good.
How long?
It's
Okay.
like 2 meters.
Is it off the screen? It's 3 meters, bro. 2.5? About about 2.5 to 3.3
So we do
meters.
this
1 meter. 2. Oh, so it's the
Two and a bit.
Yeah, 2 and a
2
bit.
and a bit.
A152. So A152 operating principle dynamic, driver size 50 mm, magnet type, real earth alloy. Do you know that? I don't know.
Not too familiar.
I don't know what's that. Impedance is 30 ohms. Sensitivity 103 decibel.
103. That's pretty loud.
Very loud.
It's not too bad.
So please, before you put on your headphone onto your ear, switch your volume 0. Frequency range 8 Hz to 28 kilohertz.
8 hertz.
What is
That
8 hertz?
Extremely low, my friends.
Hey, come on! It says with extended bass. That's why, right?
Okay, so I'm already kind of guessing what this headphone is gonna sound like, because 8 hertz is way below what the human ear can hear.
So this is apparently, compared to all the rest of the models, this is the only model comes with 8 Hz. The rest are 10 Hz.
10 is pretty low as well.
Oh, 10,
Yeah.
10, oh, wow.
So we hear, human ears, we listen to sounds at 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, right? So this is going at 8 hertz to 28, was it?
To 28
To
kilohertz.
28 kilohertz. So that's way beyond what we hear. So what I'm expecting to hear from this pair of headphones is that it would sound pretty bassy. So the low end will be pretty full, and the high ends as well. So it goes quite a big range. So we have to see what it sounds like later. But let's see how the fit is like.
Okay, you want to put it on?
So overall, actually, it feels very light, even though it looks pretty big.
How's the finishing?
There's this soft leather kind of wrap on the headband with a cushy kind of part on the
Sponge,
bottom,
right?
spongy.
Yeah.
And then the ear pads as well is the same kind of leather wrap kind of material, and it's quite thick. It's about almost an inch, but it's very soft.
I heard this Audix, this is the latest logo that they have.
So they have a brand new logo as well. Eh?
Yeah.
So the model number is on the bottom here, so it says A152, so everyone knows what you're wearing.
Okay, you want
So
to fit it?
that's left is where the cable goes in. So let's see how it feels.
If you do not know, at the side of the headphone, they actually label with L and R, so you know which side to put it on.
Wow, these are really light. It's light and it's tight. So
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. It doesn't totally block out sound, but it's tight enough that it doesn't move
Comfortable?
on my head. It's
So-
comfortable because
so-
it's light. Yeah.
So you actually can wear it for running.
I wouldn't advise wearing headphones when you run in case like someone's shouting at you or a truck is coming.
But you can hear me, right?
technically it's very comfortable, and the cutouts in the ear pad here fit my ears quite well. But I have small ears and a small head, so it fits very nicely. It's tight enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about you?
Okay, let me try. My head, big head lah. Doesn't mean big head got big brain, but I'm trying my best to have big brain. So let me try this. Oh, I need to pull it down to extend.
Yeah. So it has the adjustable headband, which is excellent.
So I need to pull up a little bit first, and then I need to press it down slightly more so to make sure it cups nicely to my ear. Yeah.
Does your ear fit nicely inside?
Yeah. Earlier on, when we take out the ear cup, it seems like a bit small, but actually it fits perfectly. Very, very
Nice,
comfortable.
nice.
It's the entire ear is being inside of the ear cup. Yeah. So
So comfort level.
I
1 to
agree
10.
with you. It's very, very light.
Yeah, it's light, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't wobble, because I have some headphones that are a little bit heavy, and when you put them on and you're moving your head, you can feel it kind of pull, especially if you're wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit annoying. When you
Oh
put
yeah.
your
Talking
glasses
about glasses, it's not pressing onto our temple.
Yeah, because the pads are soft enough that it doesn't squash the glasses. which is nice.
Okay. Right. I'm ready.
Let me do a sound test.
Yeah. We're gonna do an
Let's
audio
do it.
test right now.
I've got my laptop here.
Yeah.
Ta-da! And we're gonna just play some tunes.
Yeah, I'm not going to
on-
plug in first, just to make sure that the sound is really minimal.
Okay. Alright, we are back from our music listening sound test of the Audix A152.
With
Extended bass. So, what are your impressions for these headphones?
The sound-wise is like, well, it actually, to be honest, it grows in you. Initially, I thought that mid and low, because you know, with the words written on the box saying extended bass, I thought it's gonna be very mid-range of sound. The mid is gonna be on the higher side, and then a lot of very bassy. But apparently, with we did listen to wide range of different genre of music, and it managed to cover quite a wide range. Even I can hear the highs. It's quite good.
Yeah. I think I agree, because when I first put them on and listened to the first track, I felt that the sound was a little boxy. Like it didn't really have enough definition, the low, the mid and the high.
You would think that is the range is like this, the high and the low, and then the mid. You think
Yeah,
it's like
I
this,
just
right?
thought it's kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. But after listening to a lot more different types of music, I started with like some jazz, bossa nova, and then some instrumental, and then some EDM, some techno, pop music, and it started to feel like the sound was opening up.
And
Maybe my ears got used to it. I don't know.
Oh, well, to justify what Rafi has shared, my last track that I tested on was a death metal, a goth metal actually, and I can hear the drum kit, the snare, the guitar, in the vocal, the bass, the kick, everything it just balanced very perfectly.
Yeah. It was a very nice balance. You can hear the low end, of course, because it's 8 hertz, right? So it's really low. When I played some like dubby techno songs, you could really hear the low end, the vibrations.
So 8 to 28 kilohertz.
Yeah, and the high end, you can hear this, like the hi-hats, the cymbals, and I was playing some like ambient stuff like cigaros, and you can hear the whales behind. It's like, oh, it's really detailed. And so the sound is really detailed, and it can go quite loud, and even at pretty loud volume.
How loud were you listening
My
to?
laptop, this MacBook Air laptop, the volume was set around 50 to 60%.
Same.
And it was loud enough for me to not hear what you guys were talking outside.
And the best part, while you are testing on it, nothing. I can't hear anything from you.
Yeah.
So, which is another word, it could be pretty safe for you to use it in a library, right?
That's true, that's true. So the isolation from inside out is pretty good. So your neighbor won't be complaining. You could be listening to heavy metal on the MRT and no one next to you is gonna go and look at you funny. You know?
But on the safety side, please, when you're crossing the road, watch left and right, and even sometimes on top, you do not know what's going to hit you. Your life is precious. And next, do not cycle wearing this. Safety first. Running wise, well, there might be some scooters, some cyclists. Again,
Let's just be safe, right? Be safe and be practical.
Even though it's light, it's comfortable to wear. Talking about comfort zone, prolonged listening, I find that even though we didn't really spend a long time to go and test this out, but it sits very, very comfortably onto my ear. It's an over-ear headphone.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not pressing anywhere of your ear, soft bone, or even your nerves, or even your temple if you are wearing a spec like us. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't pinch on the glasses at all because this sponge is really soft. So the weight of it is nice for extended listening, like you said. So I feel that these are really good listening headphones. You could use them at home, out when you're commuting or you're studying and you listen to your studying music or meditative music if you want.
Okay.
I think it covers a whole range of genres very well.
So yeah, that's right. And then overall, how will you feel? And how much will you pay for this? Overall, how you feel? The external and then the hearing?
Externally, I think the looks department could improve a little bit. Yeah, it kind of looks a bit like your 1980s or 1990s kind
Which
of
one?
design.
Oh, you mean the new logo?
It's just the overall look of it. It looks pretty
okay.
dated. Like, it's not futuristic. It's not trendy. It's just like a big pair of headphones.
Right.
You know, I mean the headband adjustments is nice and smooth.
Yeah, there's metal inside.
Yeah, but as a piece of headphone, it just feels a little cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sound quality was pretty good.
As we can see, now overall the sound is good, but you'll be wearing. People will be looking at you. I think you can improve on the design. So we're going to make a guess for this headphone.
What's the price?
What's the price for this?
My guess, because of the build quality
Yeah.
and
The weight,
and the
comfort.
brand name.
Brand name. Okay, Audix is from which country?
Audix is an American brand, right?
Yes.
So because of the build quality and the brand, I will guess around $180 to $200 ish.
Okay, let's push it to the maximum. 200 Singapore dollars.
That's my guess.
That's your guess. And you will pay for this in a way.
I don't know if I'll pay for it, but
The price range for this.
I can double what I had previously mentioned. So this guy will probably go for about $350, $400.
Yeah, okay. The price for this Audix model A152, which comes with extended bass. Before GST, it is 360 Singapore dollars.
That's expensive.
I don't know.
But the sound quality is really good though. But
It grows in
Yeah,
you.
it
I
grows,
would say
I
it
think.
grows in you. Other than that, will you pay for it?
personally, at 360 before GST, I would go for another brand.
Yeah.
Because of the aesthetics. Right. So the sound is really good. I think I was really pleasantly surprised by the sound.
Comfort level. is
Comfort was
there.
there, but the looks is just not cool.
Do
enough.
not have the premium feel.
Doesn't have that premium
yeah.
feeling that I pay 360 or close to 400
Before
for.
tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah. Same. I share the same. The max I'll pay for this is 200. That's the max, inclusive of tax.
Maybe they can give you a discount.
So that is our review for Audix for A152 with extended bass headphone. So if you have anything that you would like to find out more and would like to comment, just drop us a mail at artrhythmtechnic.com. So it brings you into our Facebook page, and then you just can drop
leave us a message on our Facebook page or send us an email as well.
So if you drop us an email and really keen in getting this, we might and we could get you a better price.
We could try.
We could try.
So you can drop us an email if you're interested to test this out or any other products from Audix. You can just drop us a comment or a message on our Facebook page, and it will get you in touch with Acoustic and Lighting System, who was kind enough to lend us this unit for review and unboxing.
Big shout to Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Signing off. I'm Jason Itchi.
I'm Rafi Dean, and you've been watching Art Rhythm Technique. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Right. So that was our review of the Audix
Yeah.
A152.
Actually, to be
right?
honest, that one is a very comfortable headphone.
It is super comfortable.
Yeah,
And the sound was actually quite impressive. I didn't expect that kind of sound quality coming from that headphone.
Yes.
Right, but
Well,
yeah, price tag was a little high.
end of the day, still personal preference.
Yeah.
When if you like it, you love it, you definitely will buy it. Yeah. So once again, we'd like to big shout out to Chris from
Acoustic and Lighting.
Yes, thank you for loaning us the both two equipments for us to review and give our very very honest, authentic reviews about the equipment. And,
Definitely.
Hopefully there are more equipments for us to review in future. If you have
any of you have something that you would like us to have a try at and review, you can drop us a mail at info@artrhythmtechnic.com or just head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/artrhythmtechnic, and drop us a message there.
Yeah, that's right. So we're coming to near the end. Actually,
Actually ended, but our kind producer has allowed us to extend a little bit.
little bit of what?
A little bit of music.
Music. So before we hand over the time to Rafi to give us more interesting music, for today's topic is related to creativity, how to keep it positive during this crunch time, and how to be even though we wear many types of hats, end of the day, actually all comes together as one.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, big shout out again to Jonathan Na, Kiet, for sharing his wisdom with us, and to you guys, the viewers, right? So we learned a lot about not just the what's important in the tech for creating, right? And as a creative person, you need a lot of tech to make it work, right?
That's right.
But there is also a lot of the internal stuff, right? So your mindset and making sure that you are well, so that you can produce well, right? Because if your inner self is not well,
not at peace,
you can't create well, right?
So to let you feel at peace, for the last segment of our show, I'm going to hand the time over to Rafi.
All right, let's go.
Who isn't playing the role? Nothing, as far as I've ever heard, can beat the feel of the keyboard. Who isn't playing the role? Nothing, as far as I've ever heard, can beat the feel of the keyboard.
darkly.
All right. Today was a drum and bass day.
What? Drunk?
Not drunk and bass. Drum and bass.
And bass.
Yeah. So yeah, big shout out to again our guests, Jonathan Na, Kiet. So thanks so much for dropping those wisdom bombs of a lot of great tips, a lot of pointers to help anyone, get up and going after a tough year. So 2021, we got something great to look forward to.
That's right.
Something that you can kind of ease your way into.
Find your inner peace.
Yeah, inner peace.
Find your inner peace.
And get your inner pieces of all the gear as well.
Yes, to set up for your studio. And big shout out to Chris Chua from Acoustic Lighting System, for loaning us equipment like the speakers and the headphone for us to review. If you like them, you can always drop us a email or message that we could maybe, or could possible to get you a better price for it.
Yeah, let us know if it's any of those equipment, something that you'd be interested in. Just drop us a message. We'll hook you up with acoustic and lighting so that you can get a good deal out of that.
That's right. Of course, on the other hand, if you got any equipment would like us for a review, just drop us a message also.
Yeah, just drop us a note. Send an email, info@artrhythmtechnic.com, or check out our Facebook page. I'll drop the comments down in the links in the comments later on.
That's right.
But before we sign off, we're a little bit overrun.
More than a little bit.
A little bit. Thanks to our gracious host, Darren.
Yeah, big shout out to Singapore Community Radio.
Yeah, shout out to Singapore Community Radio. Thanks for having us for the last few months. Right, so we will be back next year,
which is like a couple of hours later.
In like 20
less
how
than
many
36
hours? Less than 36 hours later we'll be in 2021.
Yes.
So big happy new year to all of you guys who are watching in, whether you're watching live right now or you're watching the replay. If you're watching the replay next year, you've traveled back in time.
Would be yes. Yeah. For the meanwhile, everybody do stay safe, wear a mask. Even though it's a festive season, to take good care of yourself and have a good social distancing.
Yeah, man. That's why we're always 1 meter away.
Yeah.
It's the lens. That's why we look closer, but actually more than 1 meter.
So anyway, Merry Christmas and
a Happy New Year from Rafi
Jason Itchi signing off.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.